All right, so I don't know how is it gonna do. We're gonna ask me questions, or I'm gonna just talk and you stop and interrupt me and ask questions, whatever you wish.
I guess we will start with an introduction. I would love to introduce you. Some of our members already participated in previous webinars, and I guess for some we still need an introduction. So Iryna with us. Iryna has 10 plus years experience in technical recruitment, and she co-founded an agency, Equally Talent, a few years ago. And can you please tell us what you're doing, what your agency is specialized in, and what's your job?
I have 10 plus years of experience. I started back in Ukraine, so I have like 6 years here in the United States. So we are based in San Francisco Bay Area, and our Equally Talent specializes in recruitment for startups mostly. Most of our clients are here startups, technical startups, but not necessarily. We place all kind of different roles, positions, filling the positions like software engineers, designers, business. Sometimes it's super niche and interesting, like construction, science, fashion, I don't know, you name it. Because working with startup is something like fashion tech, science tech. So it's never boring. It's always interesting and exciting. And working with different companies, I've been going through many resumes and LinkedIn profiles, and working. I have an experience working in recruitment agency and working as an internal recruiter for the company. So I've been working with them and talking to different colleagues from the industry, and we were discussing resumes and profiles and how people apply to jobs. So probably we'll talk about the mistakes, what not to do in your resume, in your profile, and let's say the best practices.
So I guess due to the nature of your job, you saw like thousands of CVs in your life, and maybe you can talk about what actually makes a great CV, what makes your CV standing out from thousands others.
That's a good question. The great CV is a simple CV. So when it's readable and understandable, and when I open it, I see immediately that this is the professional, this is their title, and this is their objectives to be. So I don't have to guess, even if the person is super senior and has many years of experience, I have to understand immediately what they do and what they want to do.
Okay, so a clear goal and clear profile, it's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not just about the goals and statement. If we start talking about the clear profile, okay, let's do the bullets. What is the clear profile? Don't use the crazy highlights. Don't use the crazy fronts and crazy, I don't know, shapes or crazy design, because it should be readable. Sometimes, when you are going through a lot of resumes during the day, basically it's about the technology, because usually the first step is the technology, is the system that's going to do the parsing, that it calls applicant tracking system, because when you submit your profile to the company, it's going to be parsed by some application or software or system, I don't know. But then at the end of the day, it's still the person who's going to go through the resumes. And when you see a lot of profiles, you have sore eyes, and usually it takes a couple of seconds to go through the resume and make the decision if you're going to talk to the person or not, even after the parsing. So if the resume is crazy bright, I don't know, highlighted, super small shapes, or I can't read this resume, I'm sorry, I just it's so difficult, and I immediately have not the super positive impression. So when I can read the resume, that's the first step to success. And as I started saying that the first step is a system that is going to parse your resume. So don't be too creative on the format. Have your resume in the standard format. Usually it's PDF or right now Word doc. And sometimes when you apply to the company, they have the recommendations like use this exact format for your resume. So have different options and different formats, but use the standard ones, because a lot of people, especially what I see, people from Europe or from, I don't know, CS countries, people trying to get super creative and send me some picture format, you know, resume in the picture, or I don't know, some other formats. It's great, but I can't do anything about this. I can't put it through the system. I can't, like, the first step, I have to download it if they're not submitting through the website. I have to download it to the company's website, or I don't know, my greenhouse. Greenhouse is the applicant tracking system, and it's simply not going through. And then the next step, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna put it manually. I'm gonna copy your address and email manually, and then I can't do this because it's in the picture format, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to look and rewrite it. And then I spend so much time, and you better be a brilliant candidate that I spend so much time just to retype in your resume. So don't do this. Make sure that it's parsable. Very often I open some files and it's blank just because the whole information was lost when you submitted the profile, and of course I won't be able to trace it, and I can't find, sometimes I can find people by that. So this is, I guess, the step number one: use the proper format for your resume. The second one, I guess, check what country you're submitting your resume. Well, I can talk for the United States because most of my experience is here, and we are hiring here in the United States. So make sure that you understand the standards. For example, in the States, we don't use any pictures. We don't use any personal information, so don't show your date of birth, don't show your age, marriage status, I don't know, religion, whatever is being shown in your country, because well, I can see this resume and I can move it forward, but it can be used against me. So sometimes recruiters just prefer, if I'm not dealing with this, it's not being used against me. So it's better not to do this. Also, what else? Some people are afraid to do the resume more than one page because they've read that resume has to be one page, and you have like 20 years of experience and you try to put everything in one page. It's crazy. It's like, I can't possibly read this. I need the magnifying glass to read your resume. Don't be afraid to use like 2-pagers, sometimes 3-pagers, also fine. Especially if you have many years of experience, relevant experience. So why not? And speaking about the experience, well, if you've been working for 20 years, you can use like past 10 years in your resume, and the last experience, like you can write down about the past experience, but maybe not very broad, just a little sentence that you've been doing this and that. But if in your experience, like you started working 15 years ago and you started working as a waiter, and now you applying for a design lead, if that experience is not super applicable, don't use it. Only if you want to say something that you learned, well, I don't know, you were working in the restaurant and you know the restaurant inside out, and now you're doing some design projects in this blue collar industry, and that's why, just you be a storyteller, use this story, and then only then write about this experience. Let's see what else. Do you have any questions right now?
Yeah, and if talking about the structure, what are the sections that are necessary to have in your CV? What would you put there?
Okay, so the structure, first of all, put your name. Then after that, it's good to put your location, or this is the new standards, the new tendency, what I've been seeing the past year. People don't put their location at all. They all work remote and, trying to find a remote job. it's still okay, but a lot of companies don't like this, and I have to clarify what exactly your location is, because a lot of companies don't do the remote, like remote, I mean outside the country work. Just don't deal with the contractors. Some companies do, but they need to know exactly your time zone. So it's better to put your location, comma, remote. And like, yeah, just clarify if you're open to remote or hybrid job and on-site. In terms of the location, just the city and the country is fine. Don't put your home address, because I saw this some templates where they put the home address. It's not right. Then your phone number, and then your LinkedIn profile. And I would suggest and recommend to make this link clickable, because recruiters do always compare your resume to your LinkedIn profile. And also make sure that it aligns, because many recruiters would like to check the dates, and the dates on your LinkedIn profile and your resume, they should be the same, because well, I don't know, it can be a lie if you write that you just worked in some company from to, and you don't show it in the resume, so it can raise some questions and red flags. So make sure that your resume and LinkedIn align. LinkedIn can be shorter, but write more about your experience in the resume, or vice versa. So LinkedIn should complement your resume. And we'll talk about the LinkedIn profile today too. Then, so this is like the header, when you put your name, your location, phone number, the contacts, I know, email address, of course, LinkedIn profile. Then after that, if you add any additional websites, like for example, if you work in tech, if you're a software engineer and you add GitHub profile, or if you're a designer and add Dribble, or I don't know, any other websites where you put your work, Behance, yeah, make sure that you have something on these websites, and make sure that it's not empty, because it's very irritating when someone adds the links like, hey, look at my GitHub, and you're opening it's completely blank. Why did you add this? It doesn't make you any references. Also, I was talking about the designers or any creative jobs, and you have to add your portfolio there, because that's the first thing that the recruiter must see. Of course, yeah, I see you have an experience, or even if you don't have any experience, if you work creatively, if you are in marketing or design, or I don't know, any other PR jobs, whatever. So add your portfolio, make sure your portfolio is clickable, especially if you are a designer, you're working in UI UX, and this is my experience. So I would assess your resume as a customer. I would check your job is make this user experience very smooth and accessible and whatever. So I would assess your resume if you're a designer from this experience first of all, and if you add some links and they are not clickable, if they are leading to the wrong or address, or if the link is broken, so I'm not gonna move you forward, because this is first and foremost for the designer thing. Then what else? Your personal website. Some people would create their resumes only on the personal website. Hiring managers don't like this, unfortunately. I don't know, I'm all about the pro technology and modern recruitment, and stuff like that, but a lot of companies are old-fashioned, and they're like, oh, they have personal website, that's great, but let's see their resume. And you still have to have your resume besides the website. Same with the LinkedIn profile. Many people would submit only LinkedIn profile saying, I have everything in here. And you can just download your LinkedIn profile copy as a PDF and submit that too. And this is also not a bright idea, because again, a lot of companies are super old-fashioned, and they will ask me, where's their real resume? I'm like, oh my God, can you please just copy everything from here on the doc format and resend it? things like that. Yeah, so you never know. You never know. Even if it's a startup, super technological startup, they want to see your resume. So make sure that you have all these copies, different formats and stuff. So yeah, the structure. We spoke about the links, and then add some summary. What do we add in summary? Summary. It's the modern way of the cover letter, probably. You add some bullets about your achievements, who you are, what do you want to do, like your objectives. You can add some skill sets, some keywords in the summary. So make a paragraph about yourself, your achievements, and what you want to do. And also your passion, because a lot of times I want to see soft skills in the resume. I want to see leadership skills. And this is the place in summary you can add those skills there. Then after the summary, let it be the skill set and the tools that you use. Because again, first of all, your profile, your resume should be findable, and use as many keywords as possible so we can find you by these keywords. Second of all, as I mentioned earlier, the recruiter has just a few seconds to go through. If you have a lot of applicants, you're not going to read the whole resume. You just browse through the resume, or you're going to do the Command F and check for the keywords, right? So if I see the tools, if I see all this click words in the beginning, and it's gonna catch my eye, most likely I'm gonna stay and read more. So make sure that all the skills, tools are up front. And then start writing down about your experience. What I like when it's about the experience, when you put your title, company, and the industry. So it's very nice when I understand what company was doing, especially if it's a known company. I like to see the industry, especially if it corresponds to the company that you are applying to. So that's how I know, like, oh, you have the relevant experience. You also been doing this and that. So write about the industry. Sometimes recruiters would go and check the company. So if you want to add a link to the company's website, it's also good. And then years of experience, not like when you started, when you finished, or till now. And then a small maybe sentence about what you did in this company. So make sure that what you write in your resume, it's not the job description, it's your accomplishments. Like, what are the key accomplishments you did in the company, what you brought to the company, like, I don't know, what's your success story there. So in one sentence, and then just the bullets, what you did, and make sure that your verbs time is aligned. So you start, if you are still working on something, so you use in the present tense, and then in the past tense. What else? And yeah, the experience, and then education, and then some extra things that you want to share. Maybe some additional courses you took, maybe some leadership experience, maybe some, I don't know, something interesting. I like to read about hobbies, actually. I like when people add hobbies. It makes the resume a little more alive and personable. It's fun to read if you have some interesting hobbies too. About the education, first you put the main education, your profession, the college degree, and then the courses. Yeah, this is about the structure. What else to add to the resume? Action verbs. So there are so many action verbs that you can Google online that are relevant to your profession. Designers have own, I know sales managers have own. So just Google those action verbs for your specific profession and add those, I know, like achieved, accomplished, and so on. So just use these action verbs to make sure to highlight your accomplishments. Check resume for typos, because if you have mistakes, I know we are not the native speakers except for Robert here. So it's okay. Even for native speakers, it's okay to make mistakes, but just double check, triple check your resumes. A lot of recruiters do not tolerate typos and mistakes in the resume because they think that you didn't put much effort to this. You did it like, I just, write and send. So use some tools like Grammarly. I love Grammarly. It highlights, it rephrases, and so on. Yeah, check for typos. Make sure you add not the emotions, but you add some passion to this. What did you? It's the side of the soft skills. You can make your resume passionate too.
Can you make jokes or use smileys on your CV?
Don't use smileys. Don't use the well. I wouldn't recommend this, but you can make jokes. Like, for example, what I recommend, a lot of people are coming to me, especially, moms or moms to be, or like moms who just spent some time with their babies, and not just moms, sorry, parents who stayed home or took sabbatical, and they're asking like, how can I describe this experience, this gap in my experience that I was at home? Or it doesn't matter, maybe not just moms and dads, maybe you relocated to another country or took some time for yourself. How can I show this in your resume? So here's the place where you can make jokes, I guess. What I would do like your experience and what you learn about. Write down about this experience as the, not the working experience, but learning experience. I don't know, for example, I was joking about the parenting, so you can write down this time, from to, and parent in chief, PEO, parent in chief, and your accomplishments, like raised a child, did the biggest project, or project management, I don't know, accomplished this and that, and learned this and that. So that's how you can fill in the gap in your resume and make a little space for a job. And I think that would be taken very nicely.
Yeah, I guess a mom of 3 kids have a lot to say about time management and project management and stress management and a lot of things. We actually had a very interesting example. We had one girl on in our community who didn't work before she had a child, and then after she had a child, she discovered there were some gaps into like education, and there were like some books and some literature lacking on the market, and she actually created her own publishing house, her own product. Wow. And like, because she could not find anything on the market. She's from Ukraine actually. And now she's looking for a job in like publishing business, and she has all this story.
That's amazing.
Like she didn't work, but she learned a lot, and then she actually created her own business out of it. I don't want to take too much time because we promised like a practical workshop. We want to review some resumes. But before that, if anyone has questions to Iryna, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask them. And then we can go to
and I can use
CV review.
And I can use this time to share more about the LinkedIn profile if you have any questions about the LinkedIn profile.
I have a question about LinkedIn profile, because in my home country, I have never used it very often in my daily routine, my business. So if we have enough time, please tell some words, your recommendations about how to create proper LinkedIn. Thank you.
Sure. Well, LinkedIn profile, as I said, it should correspond to your resume. Make sure that it aligns and complements your resume, because recruiters always check LinkedIn profile. And for example, for the US market, it's first and foremost tool for the recruitment. All the candidates are there. So in the US, recruiters become kind of lazy. I have a recruiter here too, but we can use just LinkedIn profile. In most cases, it's enough. So first thing is your picture. Make sure it's clear. You have a nice headshot. You are smiling there, welcoming a candidate. Not necessarily smiling, but make it welcome. use your own picture. A lot of candidates from different countries applying to the US jobs. And I even had this situation when the candidate was applying for the US job for like software engineering for the US company and used Kanye West's picture on the LinkedIn profile. And it wasn't okay at all. So the company was like, what was that item? Or I don't know, another candidate used a picture when he was staying like hunting with a rifle. It's also not okay. So use a very nice professional picture when you can smile and you are visible. Your face is visible. Like don't use the glasses, the sunglasses, or some hat, or I don't know, the party picture, whatever. Also, you can use the background picture that accomplishes your picture or your experience, what you currently do, or your industry. I don't know, if you work in design, use one of your design projects as the background picture on LinkedIn. It works. Add that you are open to new opportunities so the recruiters would see you. In terms of the title, don't be creative on the title on LinkedIn because it's a keyword so the recruiters can find you. Because, well, for example, you can be creative on the summary when you describe what exactly you do. So you can play with this and say, I'm a wizard of data, I'm this superhero, like whatever, I don't know. Just you can be creative on the not about the title, but the headline. But in your title, be super specific. Write down who you are. So that's how the recruiters can find you. Then write down the summary. You can copy the summary from the resume. And here in the summary, you can be passionate, show what you love to do, what you like to do, who you are, and so on.
Is it, sorry, is it in about, yes? About you?
Yeah.
It could be
in
the
about
same
you.
part, like summary in this CV, yeah? Thank you.
Yeah, you can use it, but it can be longer than in CV. If in CV, it can be like small paragraph. In LinkedIn, you can write down whatever you want to write down. You can write down your hobbies and so on. You can write down about your passion, and like you can be creative there. Then connections. Start building your connections. Add people, add recruiters, add companies. Ask people like to review. I don't know, just ask people for informational interviews, ask to add recruiters to your network, but not just click like add, but write small, very nice, personable message. Why are you doing this? Why are you building the network? What are you looking? I don't know, just build a network because people like to network on LinkedIn. And then check what content you share because it's not the Instagram, it's not the Facebook. Make sure that you are professional on LinkedIn and understand that it's visible whatever you do. If you're liking some content, your network is going to see that you liked some content. And if it's not professional, so it gives a bad impression, make sure that every step on LinkedIn is professional and related to whatever you do. Yeah, so this is the main advice on LinkedIn. Don't be shy to promote yourself. Ask someone to give you a reference, but it shouldn't be your family and friends. Maybe ex-colleagues can write about yourself, or ex-boss manager can do a little reference in your profile.
Iryna, could I ask about headline? It's very interesting. You told this recruiters try to find us like future candidates for headline. In headline, for example, one of my area expertise is strategy, business development, and I put not strategy. I put word strategist, like strategist, innovator, product development leader. It is good. And a kind of keywords, or better to say strategy like keyword when recruiter try to find, you want to find like what is the key skills for you?
Yeah, they can still find you if you put strategy in your profile somewhere, like, not in the title, not in the headline, but somewhere in your about yourself or in your experience. If you have this word strategy, they're gonna find you.
Maybe you will share with us the best examples of good LinkedIn profiles, if possible. It will be very helpful.
I can find occasionally and share in the chat after the session, so you can see. It depends on the profession. Give me what's your headline? What's your title? What kind of profiles do you want to see?
I'm an entrepreneur in my profile, digital marketing as well. So
okay, let's find some nice digital marketers.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. And for Mary is business development, I think, or strategy. Consulting, I don't know.
I will do just a little bit later because I have to run the meeting, but I write myself, so I will definitely find digital marketing profiles and share in the chat.
Yeah. Best practices, best.
Thank
you.
It's like in the university, we can do whatever, just show the example.
Yeah, and this is actually a good practice. Whenever like you are looking for a job, find 5 profiles that you like in your profession and use what they use. Don't be a copycat, like don't copy everything as they say, but see like, oh, this is a strong profile. I really like how they describe themselves and their practice. What I can say about myself like them. Maybe some phrases you can use, and this is really a good practice. Maybe they work in the company of your dream and you can see what they do.
Yeah, one of the advices also I received on my MBA that you should find the person who has your dream job. Like, for example, if you're a digital marketer and you want to be like a VP of marketing one day of like Sephora or I don't know, like some company, and like basically look at their career path and also like see what are their skills, what they did, what they like, what kind of jobs they did. How do they describe their like their job position? So basically, like look at these people as a example of where you want to be, and use their CVs or their LinkedIn page as an example, as an inspiration. Let's say. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, let's see some CVs. We have 2 CVs to review. Maria, can you introduce yourself and just tell us what you're looking for, what is your situation, and what do you want? Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, my name is Maria or Mary. And July this year, I moved to San Francisco from Moscow because my husband was relocated from his job. And now I look in job in 3 areas because it's my key area of expertise. I work for more than 9 years as management consultant and head of internal function. Last year and a half, I grew in a startup and role of chief of strategy and business development. It was tech startup, last mile delivery. It was pretty big. We covered all Russian and 40 countries in Europe. And what is I'm looking now because we relocated and pretty difficult to lead business with a big gap time, about 10-30 hours. And my main focus is the first one is product development, launch new product, new business building. The second one, it's business strategy development and execution. And the third one is business transformation and optimization. Why the 3 areas, not the third one? Because the first one, I have really big experience as management consultant, and I'm really expert in this 3 areas. And I try to thread my pipeline of future employer, just, I don't know, adapt myself in local market. Because it's not easy if you don't have experience in a local company. Just like I understand, just need to enter to the market.
Yeah. It's a very nice experience you have. I like. Well, thank you for sharing. I like what you have in your resume. First comment would be it's a little difficult to read because probably you were trying, as I said, you are trying to fit everything in one page. And you have a lot of experience, so I would prefer if you put it even in 2 pages, but make it more readable. I saw templates like this, examples like this, just adds a little bit more spacing. You see, it's everything in like one place and very close. The text is very close to each other, so it's kind of difficult to read. So I need to focus. If you'll make it a little broader, even for 2 pages, that's totally fine. Then I like that you write about, you basically did everything right about your summary and your accomplishments and the keywords and the action words, and you did everything right, like in terms of the resume structure. And here it's very nice that you put all the keywords. Your resume would be searchable. I can find it. Let me see the objectives. You can add something like, what are you looking for? Yeah, that's great that like what you did. Maybe just one sentence like, looking for XYZ, being a business developer in a SaaS startup. Maybe this is fine. I like your international experience. Create a business technology and industrial companies. Maybe at Eastern Europe, or no, Europe is fine. Until one point. Yeah, what I'm lacking here is the objectives. Like, what are you looking for? If it's a business development role, then write the international startup, for example, or SaaS startup, and when you write the strategy and product development manager, it's not super readable. I would suggest just change the fonts. Don't make it just super dark background, because I had just a second to find it out. Yeah. Otherwise, I like your resume. Just make it a little bit more readable. And can you go down a little just to see the senior manager and education? You can change. I mean, you can write the first your diploma and like your university first, and then the relevant courses. But that's okay. It's totally fine that you did it too. You can just switch the places. So I want to see more management too, because your resume, your position is senior, and I want to see your leadership and management. Maybe you have any initiatives. Maybe you mentored someone, or keep mentoring as you moved here. I want to see this for sure. Yeah, that's going to be my main comments here.
Like I put my accomplishment, for example, I was mentoring about I have team about 20 up 22 people in each position. And
supervised, yeah.
I supervised, I oversaw and mentoring and coach these people, something else. Yes, which will be connected with leadership skills, like keyword, yeah.
Sometimes when people just moved here, it's nice to put your visa status, if just on the title somewhere there, that you are already here and you're eligible to work. Because a lot of companies are open for remote contractors, but still many companies are looking someone who's here and has a local visa and working status. So if you have one, you can add this right away, and then once you have the first working experience, you can take it out, because we'll understand that you already work
to put this information in topic and space.
Sorry?
Where is better to put this information about my visa, work permission?
Visa, just right next to the location. When you put San Francisco, California, you can add it there.
Okay.
It gives a lot of
by the way, I have a question about my LinkedIn. You think it's LinkedIn, but if I tap on this one, I'll show my page on LinkedIn with link. And I thought, what is better, to stay this way on LinkedIn or put whole link on my profile? I mean, LinkedIn.
This is totally fine. No, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. I will understand that it's a link. And usually, if you are applying for the tech company, I would be very surprised that recruiters in the tech company wouldn't know that it's a clickable link. That's funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like your resume. You have a very nice experience, and if I were hiring, I would find everything, most of everything that I would be looking for. As if I'm looking for a business developer, most likely I will just give you a call.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Ilya is a data analyst, data scientist. Can you go down, please?
Super in demand these days, especially in Silicon Valley.
Yes, that's what I want to say. It's a super demandable. Yeah, it's a very nice profession nowadays. Everyone's looking for data scientists.
Also,
data
one
analysts.
pager.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
everyone
in
is
this
afraid
case,
of longer CVs.
yeah, but you see that Ilya has he's a fresh grad, I guess, and he has limited experience yet. So in this case, one page is fine, and it's totally good. What I first and foremost, let's move skills up front. Let's put skills where you have. Can you scroll a little bit and show me the title and the summary? Alice, can you please scroll?
Scroll down to skills. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the skills should go up and be where we have the summary about yourself when you summary and then skills. I want to see them right away. In your summary, again, be a little passionate. This is a very funny saying. Some would say, cold noodle, cold noodle resume. So this is a big problem of people that come from these countries, that we want to see passion, we want to see excitement, and this is a very cold resume. So add a little bit about what are you passionate about, what would you like to do, what do you like most about your your experience, your profession, why do you like this profession, especially if you don't have much experience to show. Write down about your passion and that you want to grow, and how do you develop your skills. About the experience, if you apply to international companies, if you apply to the US companies, let's drop this junior in your title. Just be data analyst, don't write it down, don't write junior at all. Try data analyst. If you don't have much to show in your experience, also add something about your teams, your collaboration, add soft skills like your contribution to the company. I want to see more details here because it's super cold and very few details. So I want to see how you collaborated with the other students. What did you like? If you worked on the project, if you did any research for data, how did you do this? What did you use for that? And don't be afraid if you put your skills in the skills page, and then the page about the paragraph, and you use all the skills and stuff. Don't be afraid to use the same skills in your experience. Write down, I used Python for this and that. Make it a little bit longer, so add more data if you don't have much experience yet. Also, I want to know if you want to submit this profile to the US company. Have to understand this. So write down that you are open to a remote job, or you're looking for international or remote contracting. I don't know, just give me an idea how would you like to work and from which places. Yeah. And education is great. And you did a great job writing down about what were you doing there. And
I still have a question about passion in the resume. As a former technical specialist, I have a problem with it. Give us, please, an example. For example, for Ilya, what can we write exactly?
Yeah, I don't know, passionate about data. data analyst, 5 years of experience, training. I don't know. Use some words that would describe your love to algorithms. I'm just kidding, of course. My main interest is big data analytics. Write down. You see, these sentences are very short. Like I can build predictive models using bootstring. Yeah, I was reading.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. There are some, if you can't do storytelling, and that's by the way, one of the things that you're going to be asked during their interview, your storytelling skills. Even if you work in the tech profession, even if you are a data analyst and work just with data, you have to be a storyteller. You have to show your passion and whatever, like excitement about the company. So if try to do the creative writing, try to see how others, again, this is a good practice to see how others do in their profiles on LinkedIn, for example, how do they write about themselves, and apply this in your summary. Also, there are some classes on creative writing or public speaking classes or storytelling classes. Robert is here, by the way. I was starting with Robert too. What else? There is some modern technology. You use whatever OpenAI and ask them to write about some profession passionately, but don't be, of course, don't be over the top. Just, I want to see your achievements. I want to see your development. I want to see your learning skills, and I want to see your growth. And if I see this in your resume, even if you're junior, if you're just starting your career path, I want to see that you are so excited and you'll be growing as hell and you're going to contribute to the company and so on and so on. So I want to see some warmth in your resume.
I would probably add hobbies and maybe volunteering to this CV to make it more like lively.
Yeah, you can add volunteering and hobbies. That's a nice thing to do. Again, not the management, but leadership and mentoring, another thing. Because that's also another thing that's going to be asked usually during the interview as a part of the behavioral questions and soft skills questions. That like, what's your leadership experience? Do you have any skills in that too?
Okay. By the way, we're gonna have the career bootcamp and everything that you were talking about, like the storytelling skills and self-presentational skills. We will launch it in January, and we will work on like English skills to find a job, how to create a winning CV, how to create a winning LinkedIn page, the importance of personal branding, the importance of online presence, and how to go through interviewing process. That's a lot of information in like 5 weeks. And we will share information about it in our channel in Telegram very soon. And one of our mentors, Robert Henry, is here. He will be our English tutor and career coach. And we also have a professional recruiter from US joining and helping us to go through this process. And if you have any questions, reach out to us, reach out to Yulia or to me in Telegram. We also going to give a 30% discount to everyone who attended this workshop, and also like reach out, and we will send you all the details. And anyone has other questions? If not, we are running out of time.
Jess, thank you a lot for your time and organization.
You're welcome.
Very interesting.
Thank you, guys. We're going to
Iryna.
share the recording soon in the chat as well. And have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ladies, for organizing.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.